All right, next up, me and my fashionable shirt are going to be guiding you through Aliens, another glorious day in the Corps, an official licensed game of the Aliens movies, obviously. But more excitingly, it is published by Gale Force Nine, a company that always punch above their weight when it comes to licensed games. If anyone's ever played their licensed game of the Spartacus TV series, you'll know what I'm talking about. They also publish the game, the official Firefly board game, which is quite well liked. But what we have here is a campaign game that takes you through the events of the movie Aliens. And we've also got a couple of expansions. There is a lot to get through with this one, so I'm going to be giving you a super quick whistle-stop tour of how you play the game. Then I'm going to quickly blitz you through some of the campaign stuff, and finally I'll talk about what you can get in the expansions, because there is so much to cover here. Which isn't to say this is a big expensive box, rather it's just a Gale Force 9 game, which is to say there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of fun stuff, there's a lot of pushing the envelope happening here, and I don't want to leave much of it on the floor. On the sort of metaphorical cutting room floor of this little video. So, what do we have here? Well, this is a cooperative game in which players will choose one of the characters from the Aliens movies to be, and but you will play with everybody. Even if there's just two players or one of you, you're not going to be limited to only having two of characters from the Aliens movie. You're always going to have a full 6 people in your campaign. It's just that the people you don't choose to play are flipped over to their grunt side, which has lower stats and no special rules to keep the game smooth and simple, while the characters that you choose to play will be their hero mode, which is stronger, special rules. Also, with the campaign styles, you're going to equip everyone with everything you want. I've given Vasquez here a smart gun, and Frost has some grenades, and pulse rifles were handed out like, you know, Halloween candy to everyone else. You have a whole deck of equipment here, and just like in the movies, the game says, equip yourselves with whatever you want, with the subtext being, it's not going to save you. There's also some really cool stuff going on with this deck that I will get to later. Goodness me, there's lots to cover. So, a very simple way to describe the game is it's very similar to Imperial Assault crossed with Space Hulk, crossed with Flamme Rouge, the bicycle racing game, if you can believe that. On your turn, you're going to do a bunch of stuff, but at its absolute simplest, on your turn in this game, you get to do 2 actions, okay? One action might be to move. In this beginning mission of the campaign that I've set up, we're looking for Newt. We think she's in here. So I might, for my first action, move Vasquez towards this room. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an action, just moving up to your speed value. Now, if you could see something, like let's imagine there was an alien here, another action would be to shoot. And shooting is super simple. You're going to grab one of these 10-sided marine dice, and you're going to try and roll lower than whatever number is shown on your aim dial. Okay? Different characters obviously have aim dials that are higher or lower. Your aim dial resets at the beginning of your turn, but every time you take a shot, it's going to go down. You're going to roll the dice, and if you get equal to or under your aim, that alien is killed. Blam! However, then you're going to lower the aim dial. So the more shots you take in one turn, the harder it's going to be to hit anything. That's going to be a real problem because when aliens rush up to you after all the heroes have taken their turn and it's time for the aliens to move, you get one chance to shoot them before they attack you and clobber you into unconsciousness and possibly capture you, which is an interesting twist in this campaign. Heroes can be captured, and then you as a group have to decide whether to go on an entirely additional mission to try and get your friends back. So that's pretty cool. So yes, on your turn, 2 actions. You can move, you can shoot, you can barricade doors using these nifty barricade tokens, which it sounds a lot more effective than it is. You know, the aliens are very clearly designed in this game to be scary and will literally 50% of the time just clobber through barricades as if they were nothing. So what am I forgetting? You've got 2 actions on your turn. You can move, you can shoot, you can barricade, you can interact with things, and you can rest. So let me talk about the endurance deck a little bit. This is what I say when I talk about this being similar to Flamme Rouge, okay? So lots of actions in the game will cost things. If you want to equip a card from your hand, then you can do that, but you might have to exhaust some cards. If you want to use the super cool smart gun from the movies, that's great, but it's bulky and heavy and it's going to tire you out. So using that is going to exhaust you too. Now, what you're doing here is taking the deck that you draw cards and events from, and you are taking cards out and putting them in this exhaust pile. And cards that are in the exhaust pile can't be drawn. In fact, they exist in this kind of limbo state between cards you can draw and use and cards that are removed from the game. And if your entire draw pile ends up in the exhaust pile, and you still need to continue exhausting cards and tiring out your Marines with all of these cool actions you're doing, cards from the exhaust will go into the discard. Now, discarded cards are cool because they're not just removed from the game. They are potentially removed from the campaign. Because, and I love this, is the kind of thematic flavor that Gale Force Nine are so good at. As your characters get tired between missions, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you'll know there's no like week or month-long break for them to like get themselves back together. They're getting more injured and tired and exhausted, all their equipment's running out, and that is modeled by this exhaustion deck. I'm really very impressed by it. For a licensed game, this is a complicated, involved, interesting mechanic, like something out of Pandemic Legacy. So basically, yes, you want to complete each mission, but you want to do so while being as not exhausted as possible. So yes, you could equip everybody with smart guns and huge grenades and lumber into missions carrying all this gear. But that might not be a good idea because you're going to get tired very, very quickly. And you're going to go into mission 2 with a draw deck that might be half the size that it should be. And that's going to mean you're going to get exhausted even faster, which means you'll probably go into the final mission with almost no draw pile at all. It's profoundly interesting. I could easily talk for 5 minutes just about this deck, but we do not have time for that. I'm looking at the clock. So what else is there to say? Well, let me talk to you a little bit about how the aliens move, because it's just incredibly simple. And we've got some lovely thematic flavor going on with these blip tokens, okay? So as aliens spawn, which happens every turn, you're going to be grabbing these blip tokens and placing them on these spawn points, okay? Now, once if Marines see them, you immediately flip them over and replace them with alien miniatures. But so long as Marines don't see them, just like in the movies, all of these blip tokens are going to be moving towards the Marines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the aliens don't know how many aliens those blips represent. If you've not seen the movie, the Alien movies are defined by this object, which is a motion tracker depicted on the back of these cards. And you can see blips moving towards you, but you don't really know how many aliens are coming towards you or what aliens are coming towards you. This is a mechanic that got, from the movie, that got ripped off by a Games Workshop game called Space Hulk. And now I am thrilled to say it is back in an Aliens board game. So what happens is that when a blip rounds the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it can be seen by Marines, you're then going to flip it over and you're going to reveal a number, which is how many aliens that is, okay? So, and that works incredibly simply. All you do is you place, if it's a 1, an alien miniature there. And if it's a number greater than 1, you're going to take these alien tokens. Let's imagine we drew a 4, which is a big old swarm of aliens. We're going to take 3 of these alien markers and put them on top of the miniature, which is number 4. And in terms of rules, it acts exactly like one alien. There's nothing complicated here. It's going to move like as if it was one alien. It's going to attack like it was one alien, but it's going to get a little bonus to its attack for every alien in the swarm. And definitely more importantly, every time you shoot it and kill it, you guessed it, you don't kill that alien, you just remove one of the aliens from the swarm. Overall, the aliens in this game are designed with 2 things in mind that I really like. First off, they are incredibly simple to operate. As anyone who's played a co-op game with all kinds of miniatures and guns will know, it is paramount that the aliens that you have to operate AI for, well, I say aliens or goblins or whatever else you're playing, need to be simple. If I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miniatures to move after all the Marines have moved. I don't want it to be some complicated multi-step flowchart. I just want to do the thing. And in this case, it's incredibly simple. Everything just moves 6 spaces towards you and then attacks if it can. That's it. You, however, do get a chance to shoot just before you are attacked. In fact, the way this works is they've made it as tense as possible. I'm going to go over time on this video, but that's only because I like this game so much. It's incredibly tense. Aliens will run up to you, and everyone that can see that alien gets 1 free shot to kill it, only though the moment before it attacks and either knocks someone down or captures them or kills them. So the game says, yeah, we will give you a chance to survive, but we will only give it to you the very instant before a Marine gets clobbered. So that is a kind of basic overview of the game. If you have played Descent or Imperial Assault, it will be instantly familiar, but it is designed from the ground up to be more of a spooky game, more of a horror game. The aliens in this are scary, and as you'd expect from all of the campaign objectives that come with the base set, you're not often just trying to kill aliens. You're trying to survive or get somewhere. And there's the sense that the aliens outnumber you, you're outgunned, you're being predated on, basically. Whew, okay, so that's the absolute basics. Now, what I will talk about with the campaign that is really neat is that in addition to this exhaustion deck, which is going to run out between missions, if one of these 6 characters in your campaign dies, they are dead. They don't come back in a later campaign stop. If one of your Marines gets captured and dragged away to become food for a facehugger, you have to make the decision as a group whether to play an entirely additional mission just to try and get those Marines back. This is a campaign that plays for keeps, which I find really interesting. This isn't some 20 mission campaign which you're going to diligently slog your way through. No, by default, while there are some extra missions your group can choose to play, the campaign in this is 3 missions long and it's hard. So the idea is that rather than diligently making your way through some long legacy game, this is a campaign you'll try, probably fail at, and then try again. Which I think is definitely the correct choice for an accessible licensed game. But if you want to make the campaign bigger, we do have some expansions here that I find quite exciting. We have the Ultimate Badasses expansion, which adds 6 optional Marines for you to swap in and out with the 6 Marines that come in the base set. Also, Ultimate Badasses adds some experience cards. So every time you complete a mission, everyone can give their character some experience and level them up as if you were playing an online MMO. Yes, that's right, an online, massively multiplayer online game. So yes, this adds some more character customization and character development, whereas Get Away From Her, you be ****H, which I think stands for branch. That is going to add, obviously, because how could they turn it down? Everything's fallen over. Oh no, Ripley, save me. We have got a Queen alien miniature. We have Ripley in the forklift suit. We have some new heroes, including exactly 1/2 of a cool android. And we have some additional missions for you to mix and match into the campaign. Remember I said before that this is a campaign that you would play through several times because it is difficult? The Get Away From Her You Branch expansion is going to add optional missions for you to play within the campaign. So as you go through this campaign again, it's going to have more color, more options, more flavor, and more queens. And I mean that in both senses of the word. So I definitely overran on that one, but only because, well, frankly, I think Gale Force 9 deserve it. This is a game which, I don't know. In my job, I'm so often exposed to board game publishers making scratch by doing the official board games of licensed games. And I very rarely like those interpretations as much as what Gale Force 9 do. Of course, all of this is just first impressions because as with all of the games in this video series, I have not played this. But I would be excited to play Aliens Another Glorious Day in the Core.